listen to the true, authentic stories of some of the members of our community. They must be 100% Africans, so that when they tell us where the pothole is, mahali mti ilianguka, and where the teacher caned them, and for those of us who made the stringed instruments, how we slaughtered the rabbit first and then made the stringed instrument. Hallelujah, somebody.
I didn't have a privilege of a parent who could sit me down and ask me, my son, what do you want to do? How can I be of help to you? Little did I know, I had so many people asking me that question, not directly. And that is the reason why we have Stories of Significance today. A platform where each individual or participant who comes here, they learn through listening, anticipate and foresee future challenges. Whenever they come, they have already planned for them. Stories of Significance is a platform where you sit down and remind yourself that you are a human being. And a human being goes through both good times and bad times. From that, you can learn. I invite you to ask questions after she has spoken, so that she also has the opportunity to tell a story within a story.
My name is Messi, Cairo. I'm a CEO of Messi Enterprises, which has been there for the longest time, since 1984, and also a co-chairperson. I'll explain to you why as we go on. I'd never heard of Stories of Significance, and I was going through a very rough time. That was last month, and I was contemplating closing shop. I've gone through so much, but we'll start. Wherever I start, guys, just go with me. My father is an architect. My mother was a journalist in VOK. I went to school in 1972 is when I was admitted to Catholic Parochial. And I'd not gone to a nursery school. Why? I was a very slow learner. I could not string 3 words to construct a sentence. And it was very frustrating, but I could understand everything people talked about. So I go for this interview in Catholic Parochial. I didn't know my father until later on in life, I'll tell you guys. But I was with my mom and my stepfather. So we go for this interview with my sister and my brother. And the nun asked, she was a tall sister called Sister Thomas Moore, very strict. I remember her up to now. And she was a lefty. And she asked me my name. And I could not say my name is Anne. I could not say that. I could not even remember to say my name is Anne. And my sister kept on telling me, say my name is Anne. I cannot even say my name is Anne. And my stepfather says, oh, she doesn't understand anything, she doesn't know anything. And the sister asked, who is the firstborn? Who is the eldest? Okay, it's Anne. But my sister was very talkative. So my stepfather says, okay, you can admit her to standard 1 because she never went to nursery. I went back home. I used to suck my thumb. This one gets a wound, I suck this one. And I told my mom, I am never going back. In fact, because I didn't know how to express myself. When my mom told me to go to nursery, I just said no. I was very stubborn. And I used to cry, I'm not going, you know? So my mom left me at home and my sister went to nursery. So when we were being admitted in standard 1, my stepfather is like, oh, this one can't talk, this one she cannot express herself. So the nun said, I'm going to take her. She's the eldest. She is going to enroll for standard 1. So I got enrolled for standard 1. But with conditions. Everybody went in the morning, So I would go in the afternoon because I think the nun noticed that I have a problem. So I would go in the afternoon for my classes. So standard 1, 2, 3, I went in the afternoon. So as time went on, I got to standard 4, but I had a very abusive stepfather. And when I got to standard 4, he used to ask me, 8 times 7? We used to have these mental classes, mental sums. And we had these books, we used to look behind, 7 times what, 7 times what, you know? And everybody in class would stand, 7 times what, everybody would answer, but me, I could not. My stepfather used to take me to the bathroom in the morning and ask me, 7 times, 7 times. I remember 7 and 9 was the toughest. I think an 8. And he will beat me in cold shower. And then we go back to school. We go to school in the morning. And we had this lady called Mrs. Pinto, would stand in class. She would ask you. And if you don't answer, she'll hit you on the knuckles. So I was like, you're hitting me on the knuckles? Oh, I used to give my knuckles very well. Chapa, chapa, chapa. I will feel nothing because the beating I've had at home is even worse than what you're giving me. I feel nothing. You chapa. I used to give her like this, chapa and endelea. You know, I feel nothing because I had it all at home. And there's once when I was cooking ugali at home. We used to cook this tough ugali. It was wimbi and cassava and I think ungayam. You cook that ugali, you know, child labor, you cook this ugali, and you're served. I have to serve everybody. But my mom was very patient with me. After all said and done, my mom used to sit with me and teach me how to read. She was very patient with me. I think it's because she was working with the doctors, Dr. Radio, so she used to ask a lot of doctors, what's wrong with my daughter? What's wrong with my daughter? So she knew how to handle me. So she would really work with me. After I cook, I do everything because the household helps were overwhelmed. Many children, we were about 8 of us, and I had to help in and work. And I was very quiet. So one day, we had a cousin from my stepfather's side come in, stay with us, my sister. So kila mtu akipita alikuwa ananipiga ngoto, mjinga wa mami, mjinga wa mami. So one day, one of them attacked me when I was cooking chapatis. I used to cook 2 packets of chapatis in standard 6. Na chapati lazima iwe kama karatasi. Proper chapati. So one day I just went haywire. And I beat up my cousins, everybody in the house. I just went. And then my mom came home and she was told, you know what? I think malaria and imeingia kwa kichwa. Today, what she did, nobody has done that. So my mom said, you people, you're so used to bullying Anne. Today, Anne has taught you people a lesson. So my mom put all the seats aside, said, leo ndo tutajua kama Anne ni si Anne. So standard 6, that's when I became the thug of the thug of the county, Joy, the thug of the county. I used to have this catapult. We used to call it fair. So that is what I used to arm myself with. I used to have this fair. And we used to call it fair in Eastlands, because we were staying in Kimathi. So Eastlands, fair. I used to have this fair. I used to defend myself with that. Any boy who chokozas me, I would vent. And I'm telling you, I'll beat you to pulp. I became bad news in the estate. It's only one guy who could come and tell me, ask me, Ann, uliekea nani wanted kwa sababu hajaenda shule siku mbili? Uliekea nani wanted? Naambia sijui hata niliekea nani wanted. Ni nani nimeekea wanted? So and so, so and so. They've not gone to school for 2 days. You know, the parents used to come to our house, and my mom used to just hold herself like, Ati Ann, I have beaten those boys. Tukitoka kwa stage, I just alight from the bus stop, and you chokos at me, I'll beat you to pulp. I had that anger. I didn't want any man to touch me or to even tell me. And I used to play with boys. I was a tomboy. We used to do those cars of Nini, and still I used to love cooking kalongo. And still I was both, you know. I would love playing with men, also Nini. So this time in Form 2, second term, my mom tells me one Saturday, Ann, let's go to town for shopping. So went to town for shopping with my mom. And my sister, akasema, Mom, why do you always like taking Ann? Oh, because Ann is always carrying mzigos. Ann is always, she's hands-on. So I'm going with Ann. Sawa, we go to town. My mom parks the car at Holy Family Basilica. And then we walk towards her office. By the way, I skipped somewhere. In standard 6, I started earning in standard 6 when JM Karaoke passed on. Students did not come to her programs because there was this problem of the university students. There was shooting, there was whatever. So she was in the studios. So when she came to school, when I was in standard 6, she took us to the OK. She told me, when I got operated on, I developed a base. So my mom told me, you can be Fatuma and you can be Ali or something like that. And I'm telling you, I did the programs, 5 programs. When I left the studio, the colleagues said, tutamchukua Ann, we'll take her, she'll do our programs, she'll do voiceovers. So at the end of the year, I would get a very good voucher from VOK. So when my mom parked the car in VOK, in Basilica, we took a walk down the road. Where do we land? Snow Cream. So we land in Snow Cream, we sit down, and a tall guy walks in with a small girl. So I tell my mom, hey, this guy looks familiar. It's like I've seen him somewhere in my dreams, or I've seen him somewhere. He looks familiar. So my mom just keeps quiet. The guy comes and sits with us. Have you told her? He said, hi. Have you told her? My mom said, no. I'm going round, kidogo, 5 minutes, I'm coming back. So my mom tells me, this is your father. Can you imagine my mother had never told me that I have a father? I knew my stepfather as my father. So she tells me, this is your father. Nikamuuliza, ni mkabila gani? Ni Mkikuyu. And then as I put 2 and 2 together, every time my stepfather was abusing me, she said, macho kubwa kama ya bundi. Wakikuyu ni waizi. Wakikuyu are this. Wakikuyu are this. I never used to understand why. And then I'm told, this is your father, he's a Kikuyu. My father comes back after 5 minutes, sits down. It was during the August holidays. She said, my dad gets up, says, let's go to Deacon's. We go to Deacon's. They do shopping. I used to be in a sister school. You had to wear a bra. So we go for shopping. Paraphernalia, kila kitu, and some outfits. Guys, listen to this. This is on a Saturday, So from there, we go to textbook center or something like that. We go there. I don't know if it was Book Point or textbook center. Went there. What books do you use in your school? Bought. School bag. Go back. I think I'm going at you with my mom to the car. My dad had parked his car outside Snow Cream. Renault Sports. He tells me, ingia kwa gari, let's go. My mom is like, bye. Hey, wait a minute, this is about 11 o'clock. So I go. They've done shopping, shoes, kila kitu. I've been bought everything. I go to Kilimani. I walk into Kilimani. We drive into Kilimani at the compound. The grass is manicured. There are swings on the other side. The parking is well kept. And then this lady walks out of the room. And I could hear piano. I didn't know it was piano, by the way, you guys. I knew because I was in Catholic Parokia. We used to do this orchestra. So there was a piano and violins, ukondani. My stepmother was a music teacher. So she was tall. And she walks out. And my dad says, this is Anne. Anne, this is your stepmother. Your sister. I'm off. My dad gets into the car and drives off. Leaves me with my stepmother, my sister, with no introduction. This is the Anne I used to tell you about. And he drives off. So my stepmom, she used to run a music school. So after that, we live with my stepmom. Kidogo, get into the car, Runda, 1981. Guys, 1981. That is one day, eh? We go to Runda. When we get to Runda, we get to the parking, to doggies, to poodles, to which dogs, to which ones. They come, and okay. I was feeling like I was in a dream, like, can I pinch myself? Is it real? You know? We get into this compound. Watchman amefungua gate, imefungwa. Tumeingia kwa garage. Things were removed from the car. We got into the house. As you step into the house, it's a lounge, it's like you're in a hotel. A lounge, there's a dining, there's a kitchen, there's a laundry room, huko, and you're seeing the sitting room is elevated, the living room, it's elevated. You're seeing chairs, huko, as you stand. Nice velvet chairs, nice place, And then my cousin comes over. Oh, this is your cousin, my sister who came to meet me. They introduce me, they take me around to the house. I was told to go to the dining table, had food. Steak, mguu ya mbuzi, salad, spinach, and then this cook comes and asks, Nemoreda chefche kana roshte. Do you want chips or roast? He was an old mzungu, he used to work for wazungus, a cook. So anakuja natuliza. So I had never used a fork and knife in my life. So when the food is brought, I'm told this is a steak knife by my dad. My dad came in later. This is a steak knife, this is a fork, this is how you cut the meat. Okay? Kudai? Mkono. Si nimezoea kula pilau na mkono, chapati na mkono. Me, I decided this is too much of a hassle. Let me eat with my hands. And I'm so used to eating so fast because I have to eat fast and continue running errands in the house. Hey, eat so fast, I'm done. I'm told, no, there's salad, there's pudding. That is one day. One day. I'm I'm telling you that Saturday, it was traumatizing. It was not all rosy. It was traumatizing. So I said for the following Monday is when we're opening school. So when I went back to school, I told my classmates, hey guys, this is what happened on Saturday. And I've come with packed food. So we are not doing chips muitu anymore. We are doing what? Food I've carried from home. So we sit there, we eat. I had to get used to it. So at the end of Form 2, I was taken to St. Anne's, Rioki, a boarding school in between Coffee Bush. When I get there, I had this afro, and I was asked, what is your name? I said, Ann Messi Cairo. Can you speak Kikuyu? Why are you calling yourself Cairo and you cannot speak Kikuyu? Kamodogo. Oh my God. I've been rejected by Taitas, now Kikuyus are rejecting me. You know, now I'm a Kamodogo. You know, because I couldn't speak Kikuyu and I'm carrying the name Cairo. So they decided, the school decided, they'll call me Ann Messi. Up to today, I don't even think my schoolmates in St. Anne's know that my surname is Cairo. They decided you'll be Ann Messi. And it's not Ann Messi, Ann Masse. Ann Masse. So after college, blah, 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 I finished college. I went, I got a baby girl, straight after college. I think a year after that, my baby passed on. So this time round, it was in 92 when we were having I went back to Nairobi. I was promoting Kenya Professional Boxing Commission. I was one of the officials. So we were lifestyle was it was not the commission, but we used to promote boxing. We were promoters. So I overheard these guys talking about a certain group who the police are after. They've killed a lot of boys in the ghettos, so they don't know what to do with the boys. So the guys, after the meeting, the KPBC meeting, they said, we don't know what to do with these boys. So, and these boys are wale wanatia watu ngeta. They are ex-convicts, they are murderers, they are hardcore criminals. So these guys are saying, we don't even know what to do with these boys. Me, they're daring me. I said, I'm going to handle those guys. Take me to the ghettos. Where was these ghettos? Huruma Corner. So we go to Huruma Corner. When you get to Huruma Corner, you alight from the bus stop. It didn't happen to me. It happened to so many other people. You alight from the bus stop. A guy comes on your side with a knife. Sare Kisibe. Sare Kisibe is Toa KCB, Kenya Commercial Bank. Toa chapa yote ile uko nayo. This other one on this side anakuambia hizo viatu zimeng'ara, ebu vua hizo viatu. Sare viatu. I am telling you, they used to strip women from the bus stop. You'll remain with a kamisi. Even men, they will strip you. By the time you get to your house, you have nothing. The Kariobangi church went and talked to Muthaiga police and they agreed. Tell these boys not to go back to the streets. So take them and do what you want to do with them. So we started, when I joined the group was not yet formed. There were about 50 of them. So they dropped out. Every time we had a meeting, they dropped out. In 92, at that time, I was printing t-shirts for YK92. I was printing t-shirts for DP. It was multi-party. At the same time, I was staying in a maisonette. Upstairs, it was 3-bedroomed. Downstairs, it was a whole factory. I had machines and we were stitching bags. Okay? and we were printing. We had a 4-color printing machine, and we were printing, and the fundis used to come a shift of daytime, usiku. At what age? At 24. When we had already trained them like for 3 months, 92. 93, we said, let's have a fashion show. We approached New Stanley, they said, sawa, you can have a fashion show. We organized with our mother club, Rotarians. That time, Mike Eldon was is it Dan Eldon? Mike Eldon was a chair, and we organized a very nice fashion show. And the boys modeled what we had trained them. Some of the products are what you're seeing there, which these boys also are doing. We taught them 10 dyes. This is one of the products from one of my guys here. This is what we do. What Joy is wearing. Some other people here, and the handbags, we do leather bags. So we taught the boys how to do leather bags. We taught them how to do tie and dye, macrame, the hangings, some patchworks, and it was a sustainable life skill. Whatever they used to do, we'll sell them, and organize. Spinners and Web would buy from them. The Catholic Church will buy from them. In fact, the Catholic Church started wearing African wear from the Kariobangi Church when they had this, whatever the Catholics say, all these priests had come together. There was this congregation and the priests, and they started doing the priests' kaftans with the cross. We started that in Kariobangi Church, and the boys started exporting to Spain and Italy. I don't know if they're doing it up to now, but when I left them, they were still doing it. So that was a good result. The guys were sustaining themselves, and up to now, those boys never went back to the ghetto. They never went back to what they were doing. And most of them were older than me. And now they are grandfathers. Some of them are even great-grandfathers. They were older than me. I was only 23, 24. I didn't have money. What I'm trying to say is this: you don't have to wait to get money to help other people. If you have a skill, if you have a talent, pass it on to somebody else. You don't have to be rich, because I was using my own bus fare to go to the ghettos. You don't have to wait to be rich to help other people. Your skill is enough to just pass it on to other people.